Hey guys, welcome back. So we're going to pick up where we left off, which is working on the nose shape. So I'll jump right into my front view, and you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this five-sided faces. I know it has a particular technical name, but we want to select not this one, but this edge and move it closer to the bridge of the nose. Select this next edge to the left of it and drag this one down, and then we could take this vertex, move it over, and as you can see, it's slowly forming the bridge of the nose. So what I'm trying to do, not only form the bridge of the nose, but get these edges and vertices to work together so we have a really nice smooth shape. Okay. Alright, and then the next step, we're going to add another edge loop right about here, and then let's add one more there. And we can just hold shift. That shape kind of got a little out of place, so just move it back. I'll hold control to add another edge loop right about there. Okay. I'm not going to worry about relaxing too much because, again, this tutorial is based on just working on the nose shape. So, with that being said, we'll add another edge loop right about here, and let's jump over into our perspective view. Alright, so we're going to add 5 faces going from the center of the nose outward to the nostril. So I'll click right in the center, I'll click one more and go up, 2 points to the right of that. So visually we have 6, but because it's mirrored, it's actually 4. We'll hold shift to do that. Okay. Now let's just go ahead and move this guy over a little bit. I'm bringing it over so that it stops at the beginning of the nostril. Hold left mouse click to create those 2 dots. Hold shift. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great. Now, just go ahead and fix that little shape. And then I'll fix that shape. Let's hop back over to our front view. Okay. Bring these guys up a little bit. I don't want it to be very thin because I want it to stop at the middle of the nose. So we'll hold tab, left mouse click, and drag this guy up. Hold tab, left mouse click, and drag this guy up. And we want this to form a nice natural curve around the shape of our nostril. As natural as you can get. We are talking about a 3D character here, so it's not very natural. Hold shift to create that shape, and there we go. Kind of move this guy over a little bit more to add a nicer curve. I'll bring this one over like that. Okay. So these, excuse me, sorry, these edges here need to connect. So I'll try to align these edges with that. Okay, so if I hold tab, I can do this. Let's bring it a little bit wider, like this. Okay. I'll hold tab again, and I'll hold control to create that shape. We'll just make it a little bit wider than what we have now. Okay. That looks good. Now, we created that edge loop here because we need a little bit more geometry to go up and around that part of the nose. Okay, so with that being said, let's add a point here. I'll hold shift, and you can see as I move my cursor around, I get this quad. And I'll take that vertex point, move it straight up. I'll click right here, hold shift. One more right there, hold shift. And then we'll stop right about there. I'll click here, hold shift. Click right there, hold shift. One more point and connect it around like so. Okay, now I'll simply take this shape, kind of put this along that edge there, and I'll hold shift like that. Let's try to get this edge around here. I'll hold shift again. Let's bring this guy up and that one up. Okay, so what we're trying to do is actually get the geometry to wrap around the nose in a circular fashion. So now that we have that, we need to add a little bit more geometry coming around this way. So with that being said, I'll kind of move this guy out like this. And then we'll click right about here, hold shift to create that shape, and I'll bring this guy up. I'll click one more, hold shift. Okay. So that's going to be right on the edge of the nose. All right. Now, let's go into our perspective, and you could see just like the position. I could take this edge and just slide it back a little bit more. Okay, so you can kind of see like the nose of the natural geometry poking through the low res mesh, and that's perfectly natural and fine for now. But we'll fix that that mesh a little bit later to get a higher quality mesh in the future. Okay. So now we're going to kind of wrap this around, but first let's go ahead and click here, hold shift, click there, hold shift, so we have a little bit more geometry coming around like that. And let's see, let's move this guy down. Let's put 1, 2 right there. and then we'll 1, 2 right here, and then we'll connect it right about there. We'll add 1 here, hold shift, click right there, hold shift. We'll put 1, 2 vertices right there, hold shift, shift. Now we can bring that down like this. And then right in here we could hold control, hold shift, bring this up and around, and then connect it there. We'll hold shift to bring this up, and then I want this to come down like that. I'll hold shift to create that shape. Okay, and then I'll hold shift to create this shape and then that shape. So there's our quad. If I hold shift, we can get some of these edges to flow a little bit nicer around the nose. Like this. So I'm not going to bore you and have you watch me relax the entire geometry, but if you just kind of look at your character and find those areas that seem to be a little bit too close together, especially in this region here, then hold shift and do that. I let go of shift periodically because if I happen to get too close to a particular part of our geometry, then I can not lose a lot of the work I did before. Just kind of bring it a little bit closer there. So hold shift, we work in this area, and in the next part of the tutorial we'll begin working on the ear. Before I leave you, let's go ahead and add a little bit more resolution to the lip here. So I'll add 1, 2. And so far so good. So let's look underneath the nose and bring this to a closure. Let's add 2 points there. Let's add 1 there. 1 right there. And we'll kind of work in this circular pattern. Like so. Now just hold control. Hold control there. Now I'll get this point to work right down the center of the nostril. Bring these guys together. I'll hold control to do 1. Hold shift. Tighten it up. And we could add 1 more here for good measure. Okay. So our nose shape is complete. We are going to begin working on the eye. So in previous tutorials, I actually added more edge loops on the bottom part of the eye than I did the top, and keeping a nice symmetrical geometry is really important for creating this shape and all parts of our character. So let's begin. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces, and this line right here is a center line, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces on the left of the center line. And if you look at this center line here, okay, which matches up right there, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I'm just going to add another So those guys kind of go across. I'll add one more right here. And I can add one more right here. So I'm just looking at this point and that point, align, that one, align, this one, and obviously right there. Okay, so it looks much more concrete and solid. The next thing that we'll do is we'll bring this in a few more times. So let's do that, hold shift to make this nice circular shape. And let's look at it from this view. Okay, so we're kind of going all the way around, and I'm actually, since this is going to actually be our eyelid, we want to make sure that we spend a little bit of time going inside of that shape there. So don't take any shortcuts. It definitely is going to tell how much time you spent on your model when people see this section, and obviously other parts of your character's head as well. So look underneath there. I'll shift, and that part is just a little bit too far back, so I want to make sure that everything looks nice and symmetrical. We can add an edge loop right there, and now we want to start connecting these things. So I'll hold shift, alright, so what we'll do in object mode is going to be a little bit different. So I'll go to right mouse click and hold, object mode, click on that geometry, press Control 1. I'll go to edge, we'll double click this inside loop, go to edit mesh, and we'll find the, let's see, mesh, fill hole. Okay. And then from here, we're simply going to start connecting vertices. So I'll click on that vertical line here. Actually, let's go right down the middle. Okay, so right there, we'll go to edit, mesh, connect. Okay, and then we'll go to our multi-cut tool, double click on it, and we'll click on the, well, we can't use the edge flow, so it's quite all right. We'll click on that point, and we'll go right there, press enter, click on that point, click right there, press enter, that point and that one, press enter, press enter, this one and that. So we're going all the way down the line, and we'll add a little bit more edge loops on the inside of his eye when we're complete. So there's our quad. We'll go back and press Control 1, select our geometry, go to quad draw, and I'll hold, let's see here. If I hold Control, it's going to go all the way around the shape, you see? But what we want to do is go back into object mode on the shape, go to face, hold shift, double click, go all the way around, and then we're going to press Control E, and change the offset like that. Okay. And that's pretty much it for the eye. We can move it out just a little bit. Move it back. Go to object mode. If you press Control 1, actually let's go into our quad draw, and then we can kind of relax these guys a little bit. I'm not going to get too caught up on this eye shape because we will need to make a little bit of fine-tune that. So just kind of move some of these edges of vertices into place, because when I modeled the eye socket, I didn't really take into account that it would be the shape of the eye. So, and this geometry here that we have is not going to be the shape of our character's eye. So I think we could stop right now, and in the next tutorial we'll work on our character's ear.